Hello everyone, welcome to Lady Crafts a Lot's 83 podcast, where I will be speaking about knitting, spinning, crochet, loom knitting, sewing, and much more. I think I've covered everything as far as introduction goes. My name is Nareda Delgado, of course. My family calls me Nelly. My friends call me Nena. I am a mother of 3 kids. I have twin girls who are autistic with developmental delays. I have a 12-year-old son that's going to be 13 now in July. He's ADHD, ADD. More on the bipolar spectrum side, but they don't want to give him that type of diagnosis, but we're just alike. Knitting. Wow, knitting. Knitting is funny how I started knitting. I really learned how to crochet through family. Not many stitches. There is a stitch that they call I know it's a shell stitch. They call it piñas, pineapple, for some reason. I learned how to do, blankets, scarves, basic stitch, single crochet, double crochet. I didn't really learn much of crochet until I could recently say 3 years ago. I started crocheting more and more. I got into the crafting more and more. I shop for yarn like crazy. You can see my bins there. And yes, I have a mess on my yarn desk, but I guess that's what happens when you start crafting. I have a lot of health issues that I'm still not used to being disabled per se, but I'm hanging in there. I have a home attendant as well, so health-wise I am not doing that well, but I can manage, and I will try to podcast every week, if not every other week, depending on how things are running. I have a lot of appointments, a lot of appointments. Yes, I am blind. I need my glasses. That's my tattoo. See, I like flowers. I like stars. I do want to get like some type of yarn tattoo right here, and then put Lady Crafts a Lot 83 on it. Not sure yet. I haven't found the right design I want. My hair's a mess. I guess it goes with the territory, right? A mother of 3 kids, lots of stress, and knitting, crochet, loom knitting, and now spinning has been my go-to thing to do, I guess. Zumba too as well. I haven't Zumba in a while, but I have to start Zumba again. Girlfriend, I am gaining some weight that I need to lose. Yeah. So, first off, I would like to say I love watching podcasts. There's so many good podcasts out there. There's this young boy, his name is Nick Knix, or Nick Nix. I think it's Nick Knix, or Knix on Ravelry. He is such a young podcaster, a very nice young man who's very talented, by the way. I also watch Cozy Knits podcast. I also watch Little Bobbins. We have a dog that looks just like each other's dog. Her dog is such a sweetheart, just like my dog is such a sweetheart. Cozy Knits Cozy Knits. Is it Cozy Knits or Cozy Crafting podcast? I believe it is. Very good podcast. I love her. I love her project bags. You should go check her out at Etsy. They're amazing, well made. I love buying project bags from her. There's someone else. Sheesh. Benjamin Credwick. Oh, I love his podcast as well. He is such a sweetheart. Very nice gentleman. Which, by the way, if you're watching my podcast, I wish you the best in your life. And love your podcast. Whether it's live or not, I still love your podcast. Bakery Bear podcast is also one of my favorites. I also watch Junk Yarn podcast. She's hilarious. I also watch... let me see. In my iPad. I also watch Caffeinated Knitting podcast. I watch... oh yeah, I was right. Cozy Crafting podcast. Benjamin Credwick, I believe. I think I never mentioned that though, by the way. Let's see. Knitting in Circles. I believe they're a couple. I like their podcast too. Little Bobbin's Knits podcast. Dancing Geek podcast. He was one of the first podcasts that I ever watched in YouTube, and I fell in love with him. He is amazing, sweetheart, and then some. It's always amazing to watch him. There's another guy I've been watching. I just don't seem to see it here. He's such a cutie patootie. He's really a cutie patootie though. I don't seem to find his podcast right now. Oh my god, if I ever remember his name in his podcast, I would definitely let you know. Oh, and it's Connects Knits podcast. And I think he's Connect, something like that, Connects in Ravelry. Very nice young man. Lord have mercy. Sheesh. Yes, I can't find him at all. Lord have mercy. I can't believe I can't find him. Seriously, I can't find him? I can't believe that. He is such a sweetheart. Oh my god. Found it! Sort of a Knitter. This guy right here, he is such a sweetheart. Like I said, cutie patootie, Sort of a Knitter. You must watch his podcast. It is amazing to die for. Okay, how I started knitting, or how did I get into knitting, is very interesting actually. I've noticed that knitting textures are way different from crochet. I believe crochet texture in crocheting, it's thicker yet holy, I believe. Yes, you can make blankets and stuff that are closed in, but at the same time, I can't explain it, but I know that knitting was kicking my ass. Yeah, oops, excuse the language. Just so you know, I'm very vogue. I have my moments where I curse. Anyways, knitting was very hard for me. No matter how many times I watch a YouTube video, how to cast on, I failed. Another thing that was bad about failing was my hubby was sitting next to me when I would get mad and literally go like this with the needle and literally stab the poor guy in his legs. I stabbed him like 2 or 3 times. So therefore, every time he saw me with the needles, he would not sit next to me and he would leave me alone. yes, I was frustrating in the beginning. I have to admit, I have anger problems. It would fly across the room, fly in the garbage. The end, let it go, forget about it, move on, and go into crocheting or loom knitting. But one day, my cousin Anthony, which now hates me, and I still love him, but it's okay. To each his own. To each his own. Some people got issues. But, yes, my cousin Anthony and I decided one day to go to this yarn store at 14th Street in Manhattan. It's called Lion Brand Yarn Studio, I believe. And when I went to the store, the first time we went was on a Saturday, which they are closed because I believe they're Jewish. But, so what happened was I went a couple days after with Anthony, and the store was open. Now, they have the most amazing workers. They're so nice. Even the people that go and knit towards the back and sit in the table just to, I guess, talk amongst each other and whatnot, you know. These are people that are very nice, very welcoming, very energetic, you know, willing to always help you. They don't get annoyed if you don't understand how to this or how to that. I learned how to cast on at Lion Brand. I learned how to knit and crochet. I learned how to knit and purl at Lion Brand. My first scarf, by the way, was at Lion Brand, and it was with 2 colors. So I guess it has like the bridge on the side, if that's the name of it. If not, please let me know in the down bar what it is called when you're pulling one color in the edge to the other, and it looks like a ladder, I guess. Yeah, so that's my first knit piece, was a scarf, a 2-tone scarf, purple and pink, with, I believe, specks on it, or variegation, something like that. Next thing, the first thing I knit was a dishcloth, which was a retarded looking dishcloth. It was all sideways and whatnot, but I knit it, and I was so impressed and proud of myself. Then I knitted the scarf. After that, I was knitting dishcloth like crazy. I mean, I knit. The traditional dishcloth with the holes, you know, the border and the holes and whatnot. Yes. I started loving the knitting more. More so that I stopped crocheting. I've been knitting since. So I've been knitting since last summer. And this summer will be a year that I've been knitting. And I am happy to say that I love it. I think I've loved it. I love it more than I ever loved crochet. Because I stopped crocheting, I knit so much that I forgot to crochet. Which is bad in a way, because my daughter's blanket is crochet and I haven't gave it any love, which I should get it done so she can have her blanket, being that I finished one of my twins' blanket. So there was that. Well, loom knitting. Loom knitting I found through YouTube. It's the easiest way to knit a hat and go. Yes, it is. Easiest way to knit a hat, a scarf. You know, pull it over, put the stitch over the other, put the stitch over the other. Cross them. Yeah, very easy, but I don't like loom knitting as much as I like knitting. But I like crocheting more than I like loom knitting. Yeah. Sewing is not my thing. I haven't sewn for so many years that my sewing machine needs my love. I tried to sew a couple of things not so long ago. Didn't do bad, but I didn't do well. So I used scrap, or not even scrap material. I used old clothing that I didn't want no more, whatever. I cut it up and I was trying to sew it or whatever the case may be. But it happened. And I'm not quitting. I have a lot of projects on my needles. I have a couple of finished projects as well. But we're going to leave that for the first real podcast. This is the intro to podcasting with Lady Cressalot 83. I hope you guys enjoy this. If there's anything you guys want to ask me, you can comment. Hit like if you want to see more videos. And let's get to it. Bye. Love ya.